Hey y'all, the fan may need to be moved back a little bit. It may be too loud. Happy Monday. Good evening. I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to Creations by Gwili. I am Gwili. Ed is going to be behind the camera. I was afraid, I had the fan on. I was afraid it was maybe interfere and you might not be able to hear me. So welcome tonight. We're going to do just, y'all are probably sick of 4th of July decor, but I told my daughter I had a couple of more things to do, and for her decorations, I gave her the little plate that we made out of the scarf, and she said, I need a couple of more things. So I said, well, I'm pretty much, I could just live with what I've done with my fireplace. I don't have to add anything. So I told her she could have what we make the next couple of nights.
Sandy Renshaw says good evening.
Hi Sandy, good to see you. Let me get you pulled up here where I can see.
Maria Francisco and Kathy Keller.
Good evening, ladies. Thank you for being here.
Vicki Raven says hello.
Hi Vicki. Okay, the first thing we're going to do tonight is see whose name is going to be drawn from the blessing bag. Last week, this was our blessing. You're going to get a whole roll of 10 yards of this Patriotic rustic flag ribbon. And to be eligible for that, last week all you had to do was use our mystery word. Last week it was ribbon. This week it will be something different. And if you're new to my page, be sure and tell us if you have any questions about the giveaways, let us know. But all you have to do is do hashtag whatever I tell you the word is for that week. And that's just kind of the way we're doing it for the next couple of weeks. And then we'll do something different. But I love giving thank you blessings to those that watch my lives. Now, you don't have to be watching it live. You can also be eligible by just putting a comment and hashtag the mystery word on a replay. Facebook replays are great because most of the time my lives don't last, but you know, at the most 40 to 45 minutes. Very seldom do I go an hour. I think last week with the ribbons, because we made 3 different ribbons and I went so slow with it, we went about an hour. But I like to keep my videos under an hour because I know everybody's busy. And if you're like me, most of the time now, I'm watching replays. I very seldom am able to catch anybody live. So thank goodness Facebook still shows the replays, but you're still eligible. And then we draw every Monday. So the names that are in here are the people that did hashtag ribbon for my lives last Monday and last Thursday. And I went through just a few hours ago and got all the names and put them in here. Let me mix some of them really well, and let's see. We had a few new names in there, which is good. I appreciate the new followers. Let me draw just one, make sure I just have one in my hand. And let's see who it is. Ann Travis. Ann, if you're on here, congratulations. Y'all watch for it. If you see her, make sure. Ann lives in Alabama. I believe she lives in Bruton, close to where my sister lives. So, Ann, I'm pretty sure I have your address, and I will be getting this out to you. If I don't have your address, I'll just send you a message. So, I'm going to keep the names just in case I don't hear from Ann, or she decides she doesn't want it or anything like that. I still have the names. But we'll start over as of tonight. So tonight, well, before we even get into what the mystery word is, let me show you what the craft box is for this month, for June. It doesn't have anything to do with the Patriotic, so I thought we'll save this and we're going to do it another night, not tonight, because I still have about 3 crafts I want to show you. But this is what the mystery box is. If you're not familiar, Magnolia Designs is a company that sells reusable stencils, and I'm actually going to use one of the stencils tonight that I have, just part of it, one word out of the whole stencil. But they have a craft box that's $19.99 plus $5 shipping, and you get everything you need in this box for craft. Plus you get complete instructions with a QR code that gives you a video. Plus, I always do my craft kit on one of my lives. But this is what it is. It's actually, well, I didn't want to take it out of the bag, but I will. It's a bag, actually, a tote bag. So you know they're going to be sending you ink, because that's what we use on fabric, is chalk ink. That's a pretty good sized tote bag. It's a white canvas tote bag. So we will be stenciling. You could do both sides, but we will be stenciling one side. So they have given you a squeegee, and they have given you sample ink of green. I'm not sure the shade of green. Green and black is what I see in here. And their stencils are exclusive to the craft kits. If they run out, no one else can purchase that stencil. I still haven't seen them add the stencil for the bee one. Magnolia green and black, and a squeegee. And then the stencil, we'll do this in a couple of weeks, because it could be a summer tote bag. The stencil says, create beautiful things to uplift, empower, and encourage others. And it's got a pretty flower and the greenery. And I think it would be pretty if you had some red to do these little berries in red. But that's what the kit is for this month. And if you're interested in that, just PM me and I will give you the link where you can go check out the craft kit. They sell all kinds of other stencils, some great stencils. Very encouraging and uplifting stencils is why I like Magnolia. But that was some of you may have already gotten your kit, but we will be doing this in a week or so. Okay, but tonight I want to do something with these are little houses that I picked up at Target. And they're already decorated a little bit, but you know I'm not going to leave them like that. These were in their dollar bins, but they were $3, which is not a bad price. These are really heavy, sturdy shelf sitters. So this is going to be our thank you gift for this week. And your word, of course, is house. So just do #house. Someone will get all 3 of these. You could use them just like they are. You know I didn't. I took them and I painted them white. All just sides, top, everything. You wouldn't have to. There's several things you could do with these. Or you could just save them and use them even for Christmas, paint them. We're going to be doing some stenciling, plus putting scrapbook paper on there. I have this scrapbook paper that on one of them I'm going to put the stars, and on the other one I'm going to put stripes. And guess what the word is I'm going to put in the middle? What would you guess, Ed? Stars, stripes. What word am I going to use?
And
Yep. Stars and stripes. That's what we're going to do. We're going to
make
put a little...
one of those little curly key frames.
No, I'm going to actually use the word and. I thought about the curly Q thing, whatever it's called. Yeah. But I'm going to actually use the word. So, what I did with these, you can see these I'm going to be covering with scrapbook paper. So I didn't worry about totally covering everything. The middle one, I did put 2 coats because it's staying white. And I'm going to use this pretty blue, what's it called? Old Glory Blue is what I'm going to use for the word on this one. So let's set that one aside and let's figure out. These are not quite as easy. I probably could just trace around it. That's probably the same angle here that's going to go in the middle, wouldn't it, Ed?
Close, yeah.
You know, but I thought, well, let me see if I can't just make it fit with my fingers. Sometimes when you've got the little lip, it's a little harder to get your craft
Don't you use
paper.
an X-Acto now?
Well, I have one sitting here. I'm just going to cut this down a little so it's a little shorter, because you can always sand off the edges. Just want to make sure I go over far enough. we're going to do the stars on this one. So I'm just going to kind of take my thumb, or I could take, I'm going to like make an indentation right there so I know where to cut. As like he said, I could use the X-Acto knife. I was afraid I would slip with the X-Acto knife, but my nail is cutting the paper, actually. So, okay, and then I'm going to cut this and hope my angle is correct. If it's not, I'll fix it. We know craft is not perfect. And it's going to have to go up just a little bit. Huh?
Speak up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I have a tendency to kind of talk to myself when I'm crafting, and I don't try to talk very loud. Okay. So that's a pretty good fit. It's not quite as easy as just, like I said, I probably could have put this on here and traced the top to get my angle. We may try that on this one. But this is kind of thick paper, so I'm not going to do the iron-on because it's a real small area. And I believe I can just put a little Mod Podge down and I can lay this down fine. And it's not going to have, now the reason I like to do things like this is because you can pull this paper off, you can sand it off, and then you can change these houses out for whatever the season is. But we're going to put a little Mod Podge on here. If y'all don't know, basically Mod Podge is glue. So we're just going to make sure we get the edges good. And since it's a really small piece, I can just lay it on there, get it where I want it, and push it down. You shouldn't have any bubbles because it's fairly thick scrapbook paper and it's a small area. And I'm just going to push that really well and then put it aside and let it dry. All right, on the other one, let's see if we can get the right angle by a different way. I want my stripes to go across, of course. So let me see. Get it even on there, and I'm just gonna kind of get the angle right here with a pencil and cut that and see. And this will be a fairly quick video. I didn't get that quite on the line, so I bet it's not a perfect fit. It's pretty close though. Let me cut that little, I see pencil mark. And I know I'm talking to myself again. Sorry.
That's all right, as long as you talk loud enough.
If I talk very loud, you'll answer me. Okay. We're going to bling up the stars a little bit. I don't know. How many of you have ever used diamond dust? Give me some hearts if you've used diamond dust. We're going to use a little diamond dust on our stars tonight. Okay, that's good. I can get the rest of it off with sandpaper.
There's some hearts.
So y'all have used diamond dust. You know, you buy a thing of it, it'll last forever. I don't think I've used it, but maybe twice. It is messy, and it's actually like little shards of glass.
Yeah, Barbara Roachcamp said she had used it in card making.
Yeah. Well, we're going to put it on our stars. Okay. So there's our stripes. I hope they're straight enough. They're fairly close. They may be off just a tad, that bottom one, but I don't think it's going to matter. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside.
Miss Reiki says hello, just getting on.
Hi, Paula. Just thank you for being here. We're making some shelf sitters out of little houses from Target. They come 3 in a pack. It's like $3. Okay, so now this one we're going to take.
It's hashtag house.
Yes, hashtag house is the mystery word. This one we're going to take. I'm going to put a bow of some sort right there, so I want my word down here. Now, I gave this 2 coats of the white from Waverly, and I waxed it. Remember, you wax so that your stencil doesn't pull up your paint. And this is the stencil that I pulled out. I have not used it, and I'm only going to use the word "and" off of it. It's actually says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation." It's got a pretty lighthouse on it. I don't know why I haven't used it yet, but it's new, so.
Probably the size.
Well, it would go on like a 8x10 canvas. And it's got a really neat lighthouse. If I can get it out of the paper. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is mark the back of it. And I'm just going to write lighthouse. And I want my word "and" to kind of be down, because I'm not sure how. I've got a little flower that I may put there. I have 2 different ideas, but it's going to be up to my daughter which one she wants. Now you see the stencils are pretty sticky, so anytime that you're, especially if you're doing it on painted wood, well really anything, glass, a mirror, you want to take some of that stickiness away. So we're going to take it, put it on something fuzzy. You can use a, of course I don't have to do this whole thing because I'm only going to be putting parts of it on here.
Barbara Roachcamp wants to know how you store your stencil.
Barbara, I actually have some, oh my goodness. Sorry y'all, that looked like somebody cut their hair on my, and that's right on the word I want to use. Sorry. If I had a cat, I would say it was cat hair, but I don't have a cat. That's a clump of hair. Sorry, I got distracted. I actually have several, the crates that are probably about 14 inches long and maybe 10 inches wide, and I just lay them down flat. I put them back on their sheets and back in the thing, and this size and smaller I have in one crate. And then in a drawer, the bigger ones, I have a dresser drawer that's big, and I lay them in there flat. And that's how I store mine. It works for me. You just kind of have to figure out. But I like laying them flat. I need to throw that thing in the washing machine. Let's see if I can get this on here without getting hair on it. And I didn't test it to see if I can see the hair. Can you see the hair through there? I want to lick my finger and do it, y'all. It's actually in my stencil. So it might make it look a little rustic, who knows? It may give me lines, but. So I'm going to put it down a little ways, and I want to make sure it's kind of in the middle of my wood before I stencil on it. right, so my end would be right kind of in the middle of that V right there. Okay. Ed, would you look out there and get me the blue tape? I didn't realize the Y was so close to my D. And let me put a little bit of tape
What do you want?
on here. The blue painter's tape. If you're just using a word, make sure there's no bubbles in it. Like see the G on the light comes down, and I don't want blue paste there, so I'm going to cover it up just a little bit. Right there, so I don't get my blue. And we're going to hope I have that on there. I've already stirred my paste. This is a beautiful color. And it's not going to take much just to do this one word. You don't want to press real hard. You just want to make sure it goes down in all those spots to where the stencil is white, and then you scrape off the excess. If your paste is too runny, or you push too hard, or you don't have your stencil down very well, then it could bleed underneath the stencil.
Barbara Rosecrans wants to know you put wax on it. You only do it on painted stuff.
Yes.
I knew that.
Okay, yeah. It's only when you've got painted wood. All right, so there's my and. And I need to let that dry, but I have two different things. I made this bow flower last year when I showed you how to do these flowers. I had this one from last year. But then I also have a red and white little bow. So I'm not sure which one my daughter's going to want, but you could definitely decorate this. You could decorate the tops of all of them and I could paint a star and put it there. I could do a rustic star. There's quite a bit you can do with it. Okay, I'm going to go back and make sure. Ed took my stencil. Normally I immediately put my stencils in water, a tub of water over here. But since I was just going to use that one word, I told him I was just going to hand it to him so that he could just rinse it off. And I'll clean it thoroughly when I get done. Okay. I'm just rubbing these in and making sure you get all the bubbles out. And I'm going to get my little piece of sanding paper and just, now when you sand these, always go down. When you sand anything, napkins especially, because you will rip your napkin. Okay, so this is going to be just a little bit of sanding on the edges, which if it takes off some of my white paint, I'm fine with that. That just makes it look a little more rustic looking, or old, which Ed doesn't like. He said, I don't understand why you buy something new and want it to look old. And if you need to, you can use a nail file. This is two together, but like in the corners of stuff, you can use a nail file. Okay, I got that one. Now let me get this one, and then we're gonna put some diamond dust on our stars. And I really don't think I'm gonna put anything else on them. I like simple stuff. Just getting that excess paper off. And like I said, when 4th of July is over, you can pull this paper off or sand it off or paint over it, or you can just turn them around and paint and do something. That kind of makes me think of a stable for Christmas. I'm thinking these would be really cute. In fact, I bought a couple of packs of them. Last year, remember, we took just the square blocks and we decorated them and we put joy. These would be real cute to do that with also. Okay, let me get some of this out of my way because I'm fixing to make a mess with the diamond dust. Of course, if you're going to have stars and stripes, you got to have them, you know, in the right order. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to use the Mod Podge because that's, I'm going to get a paper plate first. Because the Mod Podge acts as glue, and I just have a little bitty brush because I just kind of want to go in the center of my stars. And I'm only going to do a couple at a time because the Mod Podge dries fairly fast. And if you want your diamond dust to stick, then your Mod Podge has to be wet. And I'm just going to kind of hit the centers of my stars. Let me do this one, and then I'll have these at the top kind of done. And then you take the diamond dust, and I ordered off at Amazon. You can just look up diamond dust and see how little bitty it is. And I just take it and you would just cover, like you would if you were playing with glitter. It's basically what it is. It's just little shards of glass, and I'm going to leave them on there. And then I'm going to go down to these. I just thought this would give it a little bit of a bling. Not a whole lot, but it's just a little something extra. And the main thing is if it just kind of sticks in the center of that star, that's enough. So I'm only going to do a few at a time. And then I'm just going to shake off the excess in my plate and put it back in my little bottle. I don't have any glue on these yet, so. And you want to like pour out a little bit in your lid, especially when you go to, if you want to Mod Podge back over them. I probably will spray them with a sealer, but you don't want to get your glue contaminated with the little pieces of diamond dust in it, or your Mod Podge. I thought about doing, you could even do the stars, I mean the stripes if you wanted to, go down each stripe with Mod Podge. And I thought, well, that would take a while. It might be too much bling. Like I said, you want to get that on there while your Mod Podge is wet. Now for the bottom row. I'm not going to worry about that one that's almost off the board. These feel a little sharp, really. I have to make sure I wash my hands good. But I thought it would just give it a little bit of glitter. You could put polka dots on it. All right, I'm gonna let that set for 1 second. And I'm gonna, when I take my plate, thank you. When I take my plate, I'm going to put the excess back in the diamond dust. Would you put that in the sink? I don't think I'm gonna need it anymore. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna take it. Okay, can you see? A certain way the light will catch them. see it? And it may not show up real well on the camera, but it does glisten.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so it's going to be our stars and stripes. Let me put this back in here. But you see how quick? I mean, the longest thing usually is just painting the little houses, and I did those yesterday. And then I'm just going to put this diamond dust, what I can get, back in this thing, and then throw the plate away. So I don't get it all over the floor and the table and everything. But you definitely could take a little bitty, and see that's a tiny paintbrush. You could take a little bit and just run glue. And I may ask Pam, and I guess you could do either one. You could do the white lines or you could do the red lines.
Send her in, so says it's cute.
So that you could do the two. Now, I kind of like this little flower. So that's the way you would set them, the stars and stripes. And but you could put a plain red bow. You could do just about anything. And like I said, I didn't bring any stars, but you can buy the wooden stars, and you could put a star on each of them at the top, whatever you wanted to do. That's where you just need to let your imagination and your creativity come in and decorate them and embellish them the way you want to. You don't have to have diamond dust. You can do regular glitter on that. But anyway, that's kind of what we'll have. Whoops. Now, it would be cute too, once my stencil is dry, I could go back and lay it down and shift it to where, and then do it in red to where your word is two colors. You have to make sure you get it in the right spot though. Okay, so that's going to be, I'm going to make this one, our shelf setters, to go with her little plate. But I like this, but I'm going to ask her if she likes that, or maybe the red, white, and blue you could do. Or I have just plain a glitter red. And then I have this one that's red polka dots. So we'll see what she wants to do. I'll let her make that decision. I like the flower myself. So, all right, that was pretty much the craft for today. Hand me those houses again. Again, this is the FREEBIE this week. Facebook doesn't like us to say it, but this is my thank you to whoever's name we draw out next Monday. You get all 3 pieces. I will take them out of this package because I can ship them easier, you know, if I can stack them rather than have a box this big. So all you have to do is put #house if you're interested in receiving these. And if you make it to Target, see if they still have them, because you know, you could make them with napkins and all kinds of stuff on them. It could be an all year. Doesn't have to be 4th of July. Of course, they have them out because of the stars and stuff they have on them. But they would be, oh, sorry, I just got a text from my youngest son taking off. Love y'all. They are on their way to Italy. So, I'll say a prayer for them. But they're going to be gone, what, 10 days? Something like that. But the grandgirls get to come here in a few days. So we look forward to seeing them. But okay, so that was it for today. Just short and simple. Paint them any color you want, or don't paint them at all. You could even, just like I said, this would be a real rustic, vintage look. And you could even take a star and do this in jute or something. There's a lot of different things you could do, but they're going to be really cute to decorate for Christmas too. So if you get to Target and they still have them, they're only $3. Grab you a pack of them. So, and we will start. Sorry, I keep getting texts. We will start the new thing today on this video. So even if you're just watching the replay, hashtag house or houses, whichever one you want to type in. And if you didn't catch the beginning, Ann Travis, have you seen Ann hop on?
No.
Ann Travis was the winner of our flag ribbon. So I will be getting that out to her in Alabama. And I will see y'all Thursday night at 6 o'clock. I think I'm going to show you how to do a Uncle Sam gnome. So we may even use some of the same scrapbook paper. So I will see y'all Thursday at 6. Thanks. Bye-bye.